Brick, do you have to say that kind of stuff when we're broadcasting?
Oh. My drink is fluorescent pink. Just so,
well, I was more concerned about the YouTube feed, which is live and lasts forever.
I didn't know we were broadcasting, Jeff.
Other than me telling you that we were on.
Okay,
and then they dink, dink, dink.
Was not listening. So you have to make sure that I'm listening. You have one job.
Wait. What else would initiate the... Does that mean I need to stop with the pouring or your, what is it? Tinder. Isn't my telling you exactly what started that conversation?
Okay, maybe I was paying attention, but it just didn't register.
Okay, well, we'll probably edit some of this out. I don't know.
Was that all of that on there?
Yeah, all of it's on there.
Fantastic. God.
All right.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm sorry.
It's a very fruity looking drink.
Okay. Yeah, that helped. All right, let's
just stop. Just gonna stop.
All right, welcome everybody to episode 234 of the PGL Lobbycast, the official podcast of PreGameLobby.com. This is for the week of August 19th, which was Mr. Lewis's birthday.
Yes.
Did you wish him a happy birthday?
I did, indeed.
What a guy. Good for you.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Lou.
Being what a guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a guy.
It was his birthday.
It was his birthday, and he gets that joy yesterday. Not today. No joy today.
No joy today.
All right. Well, as those of you who follow us know, I am Jeff, and with me is
Brick, who apparently says inappropriate remarks when he doesn't know we're recording.
Right. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into some news. Right now, Gamescom is going on. That's the German video game conference, video game and technology conference, I guess.
Okay. Convention?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So stuff was going on.
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things were was occurring today. Those things, they were occurring. So Microsoft.
Where the stuff was.
What's that?
They were occurring where the stuff was.
Right, where the stuff was. Microsoft and Sony both announced their launch titles for the system, and Sony also announced their launch date, which is
November 15th.
November 15th, for those of you who don't speak whatever that was. Oh, you know what? Here, I will let you read off the Sony. These are the physical titles, and I think these are the digital download titles, which,
fair enough.
Pick and choose out of the digitals, but you can go ahead and read all 15 of the hard copies.
We have Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts, Drive Club, FIFA 14, Killzone Shadowfall, Knack with a K, Just Dance 2014, Lego Marvel Superheroes, Madden 25, NBA 2K14, NBA Live, Need for Speed, Rivals, Skylanders, Swap Force, and Watch Dogs. And then,
Now, I thought Drive Club was a downloadable.
No, it's going to be physical.
Okay.
And then there's, I guess the only one that's really notable is Minecraft for the download one, because that's not available on Sony right now.
Oh. Yeah, I was not aware that was going to happen. And that's... Oh, it says by the end of 2013. Now, I wonder if that's just a placeholder date because the list was released before the launch day?
It's possible.
Okay. All right, well, moving on to the Xbox. Xbox has a few more titles on their list. And I think some of these are downloadable. I think it's a mix of downloadable and retail copies. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts, Crimson Dragon, which is, I think that's an exclusive. Dead Rising 3 is definitely an exclusive. FIFA 14, Fighter Within, which is a Kinect exclusive, right? Yeah. Forza Motorsport 5, Just Dance 2014, Killer Instinct, Lego Marvel Superheroes, Loco Cycle, Madden NFL, NBA 2K14, NBA Live 14, Need for Speed Rivals, Peggle 2, Power Star Golf, Rise, Son of Rome, which looks great, by the way.
Yeah, it does.
Skylanders. Note on Rise. That is the first time that Crytek has been a first-party company for a console.
No.
So, because they usually do Crysis. They're usually multi-platform, but they Microsoft Game Studios actually published this title. So Skylanders Swap Force, Watch Dogs, which continues to look pretty good, Zoo Tycoon, and Zumba World Party. That's right, Zumba. It's pretty exciting, huh?
Yes, and for those of you who are interested in an Xbox One, there are pre-orders available at the Lone Tree GameStop off of County Line Road in Lone Tree, Colorado.
Well, you just cut that number down quite a bit because you would also have to be local.
Yes. For those of you in the Colorado area, if you're in Brazil, you might have some troubles getting there.
May have a little bit of trouble doing that. Some news earlier, or I guess later last week. Xbox One is reducing the number of launch markets from 21 to 13. They cut down on some of the areas, and I'm not sure exactly why. That could be the reason why there are more systems coming back into the U.S. market, more launch titles. So instead of shipping systems to countries where they may sit on the shelf, they are probably, and this is just my speculating, probably diverting them to the areas where they will sell.
Yeah.
Sound legit?
Sounds legit.
All right. And Microsoft also announced a Season Pass guarantee. If you buy Season Passes for games on the 360, then the counterpart, or their Xbox One counterparts, you'll also get the Season Pass thing. And Season Pass, for those of you who don't know, it basically gives you all of the DLC that will become available for a title prepaid, and you get it at a pretty significant discount.
Yeah, like for Saints Row 4 and Splinter Cell Blacklist right now, the season passes are like $10.
And that's a great deal.
Yeah.
Better than paying $5 to $10 per.
Right, exactly.
Like times 5.
Right.
So. Oh, and the NPD numbers came out for last month, and the Xbox 360 has now had 31 straight months as the #1 console sales in the United States.
Wow.
31 months.
That makes sense.
Yep. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into what you're listening to. Brick.
The half of the Monday morning podcast, because I just listened to it a little bit on the way over here because I was away for the weekend.
Yes, you were.
Yes.
Tell the good people at home where you were.
I was in Boston with Sam and Jordan.
And how much of a mess was it?
Considerable.
It was a considerable mess. Excellent. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't go with you guys. I had other things to attend to.
You know what, Geoff? I think you would be okay with avoiding.
Fair enough.
Jordan slept on the floor for the entire trip.
By choice or by happenstance?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Fair enough. All right. What else did you listen to? Was that it?
That was it.
Holy crap.
That was
a very short list. You were not kidding. Well, I listened to 3 episodes of Coverville, one of which was the Rolling Stones. It was pretty good. I listened to this week's Dexter wrap-up, but it was actually covering episode 5.
Okay.
So, have you been keeping up with Dexter?
No.
No. Okay.
I have watched the first season.
Gotcha. Then I also listened to an episode of This American Life and an episode of Freakonomics. And also, more interesting things I listened to was today, while I was out and about doing errands and such, I was listening to an episode of Fat Man on Batman. This Kevin Smith podcast, and he had on there today Grant Morrison, who's been pretty involved in the Batman comic books over the years, but he was talking about now how he may I think he's going to be working on the Wonder Woman franchise, kind of doing a reboot of it, getting it back to its original roots. And its original roots are interesting in that character was written by the guy who invented the lie detector machine.
Wow.
He and his wife were psychiatrists, and they had a romantic threesome arrangement with one of their students, because apparently they're psychiatry professors as well as practicing psychiatrists.
All right.
And they had a romantic relationship with an 18-year-old student who the physical representation of Wonder Woman was based on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was very alternate sexuality and almost bondage type in its original origins.
That where the whip comes from?
It's a lasso, sir. It's the lasso of truth, oddly enough, from the guy who created the lie detector test.
Not so oddly.
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting listening to that kind of thing, and they even though it's normally focused on Batman, they took a little bit of time in talking about how, if done right, a Wonder Woman movie would do really well, because most superhero movies are male focused, and with 52% of the population being female, they could do some really good numbers if they do it right. Because there have been a number of times where they've tried to bring Wonder Woman to the small screen, and it didn't do well. So they have to kind of take a new tack on it. Maybe going back to the roots is the secret. Who knows?
Yeah.
But they've never been able to successfully bring that character to a screen, and I'd like to see that happen. It's a cool character, and there's lots of interesting bits to it. So, it
could be good.
Yeah,
could be good.
Yeah, hopefully they make some progress with that. So that was a really cool show.
Who would play Wonder Woman now?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's so many people.
There's a laundry list of characters.
Yeah. There quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody off the top of my head that fits the bill.
I don't know.
Jessica Biel.
Maybe.
Mm.
Now let's get over to what you watching, Mr. Brick.
Watched the latest episode of The Bridge, and my interest in that show increases every week as the show goes on.
I'm 2 episodes behind.
Okay. Well, it does. I mean, your stuff about her personality issues gets a little bit more explained in the latest episode. Still,
that gives me something to not look forward to.
You have a valid point. However, it would seem that she may not have always been that way.
Okay.
But that's really good. I like that. Wild at Heart at the Fire Pit Theater, which I had not seen before.
And?
I king love it.
Nice self-editing there.
It was great. It was really good.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that movie. Like I was telling you, I saw that movie for the first time in the theater, and it's an older movie.
It's really, really good. And then I watched Comedy Bang Bang. I really like that show now.
Cool.
Like it's one of those shows that you watch like an episode of it and you're like, I don't know, and then it just kind of grows on you. It's a weird sort of just quirky comedy show, but it works. I mean, like, and Bob Odenkirk is on there a lot.
Oh yeah.
Which is really funny. I mean, he's a really funny guy outside of
Breaking
Saul
Bad.
Goodman. Yeah. But yeah, love that show. It's just really kind of that awkward, just quirky type comedy.
Yeah.
And then I saw the movie Jobs today, which was pretty good. It was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't the best movie I've ever seen, but as far as telling the story,
You know why?
Why is that?
Because Ashton Kutcher was in it.
Yeah, but he was not the problem with the movie.
Oh, really?
No.
Wow.
The problem with the movie was other things. He was great, actually. As Steve Jobs, he was really good.
Did you just walk around yelling at people?
More than somewhat. Yeah. I mean, they did not.
Because that's what Steve Jobs did.
If you're expecting to go see this movie and it's going to be like, oh, it's going to be about Steve Jobs, it's going to paint him as this awesome guy.
No, he was a jerk.
It does kind of, like, it paints him truthfully.
Right.
I mean, like, he was a dick for a very long time. He kind of came around and he changed his ways towards the end of his life, and after he got kicked out of Apple, that kind of straightened him out. But those first years of running Apple computers, he was the biggest ass you will ever meet. And they don't shy away from that, which I thought they were going to do. I thought they were just gonna kind of fake it,
Right.
But I mean, like, they really got into it, which was nice to see that they actually did a truthful portrayal of him. But I mean, the guy was I don't want to say like a genius. I can't really think of the word that I'm looking for. But
he was an Apple genius.
Maybe, but I mean, he was extremely ambitious, and he was a perfectionist. It was his problem. And that's what really got him kicked out of Apple in the first place, is because he was a perfectionist and he wanted everything to be a certain way, and he didn't care how much money he had to spend to do it. And the fellow board members got fed up with him doing that stuff.
Yeah.
But, the way he wanted to do it was the right way to do it. It was the best quality product. But yeah, it was really good. And then I watched Breaking Bad, but we'll get to that in the end, because I feel like we're going to have some spoilers. So.
All right. Let's see. For me, I watched Breaking Bad also, and the second episode. But then I watched the Talking Bad for the first episode.
Okay.
And then I also watched Dexter, which interesting things happening there. I watched an episode of Franklin and Bash. Watched an episode of White Queen, Burn Notice, Rookie Blue. I also watched Wild at Heart, obviously. And I watched Two Guns today.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington.
How was
it? It was good.
Was it?
It was good.
Okay.
It was those two guys being like action guys in being their normal funny selves.
Okay. So, answer me this question.
Yes.
Which one of them had two guns? Or did they go out on a limb and did each of them have one?
They held a variety of different weapons throughout the...
Did they ever hold two guns at the same time?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because then...
They may have had one and had a backup?
Okay, because then it would be like 3 or 4 guns.
I think it was more they were the two guns.
They were the two guns?
Yeah.
But they're human beings. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
False advertising, I'm just saying.
Seriously,
Oh well.
it's ridiculous.
So it was good though.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. I liked it.
All right,
for sure.
All right, I might go see it.
All right. Are you gonna use your movie pass?
Chabra.
Chabra. Let's see. What? We're gonna talk about Breaking Bad now, or?
Do you have a long playing list?
Oh well, I can just say what my playing list is. What's your playing list? NCAA 14. Got it.
Sure is. Yeah.
All right. And mine is I played the game of the week for Civ Rev. And
Shocker that those are the two
I
games
know.
on our list.
Here's the thing. I really need whoever is the current rights holder for that game
To make another one?
to make another one.
Yeah, we mentioned this last week.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm serious about it. In case whoever is responsible for such things is listening this week and wasn't last week, I need this to happen.
I'm going to give you the mother response. Write a letter.
I want to write a letter.
Write a letter to your congressman.
Oh, jeez. Maybe I will write a letter. I just need to find out who holds the rights to it so that I can start a begging campaign.
Start a White House petition. Do that thing.
I'm going to do that?
Do that.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not going to do that.
Do that.
Obama will not be able to help me with my CivRev issue. He's a little preoccupied right now.
That would be really funny if he just saw that and was like, okay, this is the item on the agenda.
Maybe I can distract the American people with this. We're going to do CivRev, folks. We're going to do CivRev.
We're going to do CivRev 2. That's the press secretary's release.
Ridiculous. All right. Well, that being done, we're going to go ahead and get into this most recent episode of Breaking Bad, which is episode 10.
Oh my god. Yes.
Technically episode 10 of season 5, but really it's episode 2 of season 6.
5, part 2.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Todd.
Yeah. Welcome back, Todd.
He's so polite.
Yeah, he really is. You know, whether he's murdering children or helping Lydia through a field of dead bodies, he's just a polite guy all the way around.
Yeah. It brought his I was gonna say brought him back in, but apparently, his Todd and his uncle are now working for Lydia and not Walt, because I don't think Walt knew about any of this.
No, I don't think he did.
So they've probably been helping her. Oh well, actually, you know that they've been helping her because Todd was initially his replacement for Lydia for the meth cooking with Lydia, because she makes reference to the guy who's cooking now having gotten rid of Todd.
Yeah. So he was probably originally working with her, but she went back to him because his meth was more pure than what they were making.
Right.
But yeah, don't really know where that's gonna go. The whole Lydia thing.
Yeah.
I mean, she means business. That lady. She is meek and jittery pretty much all the time, but she gets some shit done.
Yeah, she does.
Like, a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
She's very ambitious.
Oh, yeah. But possibly the biggest, obviously, was how it ended. With,
sure. So Jesse got picked up by the cops for tossing several $1 million around in an Albuquerque neighborhood,
and then just stopping in a playground and going around on the merry-go-round for a little bit.
Yeah, and he's not saying anything to the two detectives that are interviewing
They're like
him.
Abbott and Costello, those guys.
Oh, terrible.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah, but
if two douchey frat boys were Abbott and Costello, it would be those two cops.
Yeah, I think we need to backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
Because I guess one of the crazy things is Walt is trying to get hold of Skylar.
Yeah.
and he can't.
Hank is simultaneously trying to get a hold of
Yeah, and Skylar goes to meet Hank at just like a diner or something, a little restaurant, and he starts like being the concerned friend, trying to get her to, protect her by having her tell him everything about, Walt and his situation, and she's looking at it very differently. She's like, "Am I under arrest?" Because she knows how deep her involvement, like how far back and how deep her involvement is with this whole thing, and so
Right.
she's not giving up any information.
Right, because she could. I really still believe that she could give a shit about Walt right now.
I don't know.
But I mean, she might be coming around to him.
Yeah.
But she is covering her own ass.
Right, but I mean, well, at that point, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. She and Walt have been on much better terms for the last 2 months since he's gotten out of the business. That's what happened over the mid-season break, is that they basically been... Well, actually, it happened before the mid-season break.
Yeah.
Because it happened before the little backyard barbecue or whatever was going on.
Finds the, leaves grass.
So they seem to be getting along much better then. They seem to be getting along much better now.
Yeah.
He, of course, hadn't told her anything about his cancer returning, but she finds that out whenever she's talking to Hank in the diner. And then, she hightails it out of there. Hank tells Marie. They go over to the house to talk to Skylar, to go get Skylar. And then Marie, without Skylar saying anything, Marie basically unravels how long that she's been involved, and she tries to take the kid.
Well, yeah, I mean, because she finds out that, in her mind, she finds out that essentially Skylar has been involved in this thing since before
Hank got shot.
And that Skylar would have known something about that.
Yeah.
Even though her involvement in that was really limited. I mean,
I don't think she was really involved.
She wasn't really involved at all.
Right.
And she really wouldn't have known anything. But because Skylar couldn't say anything to her, she just couldn't.
Yeah.
She couldn't. Just for her own. It wasn't a legal thing. It was just for her own emotional reasons. She couldn't admit that she had been a part of this or had known about this for as long as she did.
Right. So, meanwhile, while Skylar is talking to Hank, while that's all going on, speaking of covering your own, Walt goes. He goes to Saul, and Saul sends Huel and
Bill Burr. I don't know Bill Burr's character.
Yeah, Bill Burr's character. Good to see Bill Burr again.
Yeah,
on there.
Him and Huel taking a little cat nap on the bed of money.
That was awesome. They go to the storage locker where that huge block of money, that huge block of cash is, and is in kind of a funny moment. And who wouldn't do that? I'm surprised that Skylar and Walt didn't do that whenever she showed him. They laid down on this 2.5, 3 foot tall, 6 by... No, it's bigger than that. It's probably...
No.
Because they were laying on it pretty comfortably. Probably... No, it's probably 6 by 6 square.
Something like that.
6 by 6 by 3, basically. Just this huge brick of cash. And they both kick back on it. Huel is very excited. He is more than reasonably happy at that point.
He's more than reasonably happy, definitely. So what are you doing?
Yeah.
Quit screwing around here, man. We got work to do. Oh, screw it.
Yeah, it was nice. And then
they gather all the money up in barrels, ship it over to Better Call Saul's place.
Yeah.
And Walt drives it into the desert to bury it in a very deep hole.
I don't think that deep.
Well, deep enough to
reasonably
bury
deep.
Reasonably deep. Reasonably deep for 6 barrels. I mean, standing up.
Was it 6 or 8?
I think it was 6.
Bunch of money.
Still,
that's what it was.
6 barrels filled with bundles
with
of
55-gallon drums. Yeah.
It was quite a bit. But
Yeah.
I mean, he again, Walt covers his own ass like you wouldn't believe. That is when he is at his best. Is when he is covering his own ass.
Yeah, I thought that was genius. He got the GPS coordinates.
Yeah.
Smashed the GPS device.
And got the GPS coordinates on a lottery ticket.
On where you pick the pick one numbers.
Yeah, the pick one numbers.
Yeah, he picked all these numbers
in a list,
and they were the GPS coordinates for where he dropped the money. And I was like, oh, that is so smart.
Yeah.
I thought he was just memorizing it, but
Right.
it was more than memorizing it.
Because no one's going to look twice at a lottery ticket for GPS coordinates.
Yeah. And it's a lot of money.
Well,
I think it's, it's apropos because
it's his
like,
lottery.
It's like winning
ticket,
the lottery. Yeah.
It's really good. I mean, there's just so many wheels turning at this point.
Yep.
The stuff with Lydia and Todd is going to come into play.
Yeah.
I think that might be who he has the machine gun for.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think he might have the ricin for Lydia and the machine gun for Todd and the boys.
I don't know about Todd and the boys. It could actually be the Eastern European people. They may actually show up at some point.
It's possible.
Yep. So Walt, after returning home, completely exhausted, and also really weak from his chemo and whatnot, he collapses on the floor at home. Skylar. There's another bit.
That's where I think the relationship really took a turn.
Yeah, because Skylar, covered him up with a blanket and stayed by his side for, she said he was out for like 5 hours. Stayed by his side, make sure he was okay. Didn't take him to the hospital, but probably just as well.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's happening outside, and then after Hank and Marie leave the house without the small child, without their niece, they start talking about what Hank should do. He doesn't want to go back to work because he wants to catch Walt, but then Marie brings up the point that if the police or the other agents catch Walt before he does, then it's going to look like he's involved.
Right.
So he ends up going back to work, and he doesn't bring up anything about Walt yet, because he hears that Jesse Pinkman had gotten picked up for throwing money around, and given their history, he's got a pretty good idea that Jesse's going to have
some good information.
That key that he's looking for, because he said he's got these suspicions. He's got like all these pieces, but he doesn't have the ones that will fit it all together. And definitely Jesse
could be the key.
Could be the key.
I mean that could be the team up. Is those two guys?
Maybe
because Jesse's done. Jesse's done with Walt. He's done. He's miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, why else would you be throwing millions of dollars out your window in impoverished New Mexico? Yeah. I mean, you are absolutely miserable because if that much money is doing nothing for you and you have no one else, you've got nothing to lose. And so he might at this point think that this is his more towards his redemption of himself.
Maybe. I just think it would have been better had he not stayed in Albuquerque, because he should have just disappeared, left the country, and started a new life. Saul definitely could have helped him with that.
Yeah. But I don't think that's what he wants.
Yeah.
I don't think he was gonna. He wasn't gonna be happier in any other country.
Maybe. Maybe.
Just because of what he's done. That's what's bogging him down right now.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's gonna make him feel better, the only thing that's gonna even revive him a little bit, is if he can sort of make amends for all the shit that he's done.
Yeah, but Sarah, I mean, what could he possibly do to make amends?
Well, I mean, he could help Hank take down Walt. I mean, because he did some pretty terrible stuff to Hank. You know, or at least aided in doing some terrible stuff to Hank.
Yeah.
You know, and it's something. It's something because he's got nothing else. He's got nothing else that he could do to even redeem himself a little bit. This is the only opportunity that he has, and I think he's going to look at this and he's going to turn.
I'd hate to see that happen.
I would not hate to see that happen. Walt's a dick. What is wrong with you?
I don't know. That's just not the way I'd like for the story to go down. But I mean, they've got to do something. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But,
so, you have any other thoughts on Breaking Bad?
No. I think that about covers it so far. I mean, you know, I think Hank's gonna lose his job over it.
Okay.
And he might two guns it with Jesse Pinkman.
Maybe.
It's possible.
Yeah.
They're working as rogue warriors now because that's the last hurrah that each of them have.
I just don't think that Jesse has it in him to do much of anything anymore. He's pretty broken.
Well, see, here's the thing. He's pretty broken, but he also does not know a lot of the stuff that Walt has done to him. And if there's a way that they can work that in, that he can find out exactly what Walt's done to him.
There's not a way.
Or just even some of it, you know. Then it's possible that he could be like, yeah.
Now, I mean, that is true. If there were any witnesses to some of the things that Walt's done, like poisoning the little kid, and what was his girlfriend's name?
Jane.
Jane, yeah. Not killing Jane, but not saving Jane. If there were any way for him to find out about that, then I'd say yeah, but I really don't see a smooth way to reintroduce those situations.
Right. I don't really see it either, but then again, I have never really seen any of the big twists and turns that have come in Breaking Bad up to this point. You know.
For instance?
Just generally, like, just how they get out of the jams that they do. Like, you know, I mean, for instance, Gus poisoning all the guys, including himself at the cartel. Didn't see that. Walt narrowly escaping Mike.
No, they had tipped that the poisoning of everybody at the ranch. They did.
When did they tip it?
I don't remember what it was, but they did. There was something that kind of showed what was going to happen there. I remember.
Okay.
But
I mean, you know, it's a very complicated show, and there's a lot of stuff that comes up that you wouldn't think. I mean, like all the stuff about Los Pollos Hermanos being in such an international company with. You know, I mean, like that stuff.
That was huge.
Never. I thought Los Pollos Hermanos was
just that one location,
or just a few locations in the United States that Gus Fring owned independently. You know, but then you find out it's this whole other conglomerate with whatever.
With the Germans.
Yeah, with the company that Lydia works for.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I didn't see Walt killing Mike.
I did.
Yeah. I did not see that. I did not see that until it was too late, and then I was no.
No, as soon as he found that gun, I knew.
You knew.
I knew it was a done deal.
Okay. See, I thought because Mike has been a character that's always been like 10 steps ahead of everybody else,
right?
And so I would have thought that he would have been ahead of Walter. I would have thought he would have checked the bag before he got in the car for the gun. But he didn't.
But he didn't.
But I mean, they could. Vince Gilligan's got some rabbits in his hat. He could pull any one of them out at any point in time and throw us for a loop and change Jesse's view of Mr. White. to a point where Walter is using the machine gun on Hank and Jesse.
I don't know. I don't know where that's going. It seems a tad excessive for
two guys.
That's why I was thinking the Eastern Europeans are
probably
right.
Or
going to show up.
Or it's Todd and those guys. I mean,
maybe
Todd could be a bigger player than we're thinking.
It could be. I mean,
because he seemed
guy's
a little
definitely
bit,
a psychopath.
Yeah, and he did seem a little bit different from the last time that we saw him. He seemed a little bit more confident in what he was doing, And so I don't know. I don't know. No one knows. It's like the meaning of life, okay? Trying to guess what is going to happen 2 episodes into a Breaking Bad season is trying to guess what's going to happen when you die, okay?
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up for tonight then. This is episode 234, if you stuck around for the Breaking Bad stuff. I don't know, tell us what you think. If you have some opinions or you notice some things that maybe we missed or whatever, then definitely let us know. Love to talk about the show for sure. Brick, got everything? Anything else?
Nope.
All right then. Okay, love you. Bye.
I miss Josh to be on the show.
Of course you were.
Okay, I want to see exactly where.